Hi, my name is Bailey, and I am a Sales and Success Account Manager with Traction. And today I'm going to be walking you through Traction Business. Traction Business is our all-in-one farm accounting and farm management program that ultimately lets you see your profit on a per acre or per bushel basis. So today I'm going to walk you through the program. We're going to talk about some of my favorite features and just some day-to-day items that will make the management of your farm a lot easier. So first things first, we're going to start here in the account register. This is where I can connect my bank account or credit card to view a live feed of all my transactions that have come throughout the day. So you can see here, I can connect my bank account for multiple different entities or credit cards, and I can jump back and forth here. But ultimately, I'm going to go through and allocate a couple transactions that need more details. So the first one we're going to do together is from acres. I know this was a repair expense for a piece of equipment. So I can come in here and tag it to an expense account that is also tied to my Schedule F report. And instead of stopping there, where Traction is different, is that we give you the ability to tag that expense to specific farms, fields, or pieces of equipment. So in this example, I do want to go ahead and find the piece that I spent this money on, which was my 7730, and I'm going to apply that expense to that specific piece so I can track that in the overall cost of use. Another thing to note is that I can also attach a file here. So if I have a copy of a service report, I can go ahead and upload that here or take a picture on my mobile app. So I have that record all tied together and I don't need to search through any stacks of paper to find it. So that's one example of an expense you can allocate. Another is going to be a supply purchase. So instead of saying that I just purchased a chemical, I can actually come in here and put what chemical I purchased and also at what quantity. So if I come in here and I purchase glyphosate, you can see that it's actually going to start to track my inventory directly from this transaction itself, updating kind of that beginning balance here on the right-hand side. So if I wanted to, I could build out that full invoice that I have from chemicals and just start tracking my chemical inventory that way. Another option that you can do here in Traction is if I receive a check from Cargill for grain that I sold, I can also come in here and track that based off of the inventory of the crop. So I can pick what crop I'm selling at what location, and ultimately I can put in here how many bushels I sold and also at what price I sold it at. So this will help as you'll get a running total throughout the year of all of your sales of grain, and you can see also here a new beginning balance for that location itself. So lots of things that you can do here in the account register. Again, your main day-to-day screen for accounting transactions. If you do like to print checks, you can also print checks from the account register, and you also now have the option to do batch printing as well. So lots that you can do here in the account register, but also a lot more you can still do in the accounting space. If you are an operation that likes to reconcile your accounts, you are going to have that option here for any account. You can come through and complete that process in this screen. All of your contacts are housed on the accounting side. You can filter them by specific entities and also by category. So if you have an individual that is a vendor and a customer and maybe a landlord too, you can put them as all three of those statuses and they will appear in the appropriate parts of the program. Another portion which is great is going to be the bill space. This is for any accounts payable that you have. You can track that information in this portion of the program. So you can see my energy company, looks like I have 4 bills that are overdue. So I might need to get those paid, but thankfully this is a demo account. So what I can do is I can still, again, see a nice overview of what is overdue, what needs to be paid to whom. And we've got some reports tied to this as well. This is my personal favorite part of the program, is going to be the invoicing space. If you do any form of custom work, this is going to be huge for you. Again, providing a great overview for who I owe what the status is. We've got some color coordination here as well. But I'll walk you through what it looks like to build an invoice for maybe custom work. So I can pick what entity I'm creating the invoice for, and of course we're going to come in here and find the individual I went out and did an application for. When I come in here, where Traction saves you a lot of time is that I do not have to build this invoice out. I do not need to go pull up my field records and figure out what I applied where. I can just click on the Bill Landowner button, and from this screen, I can actually see what I applied where, on what fields, and with what pieces of equipment. So all of this data came over from my connection with John Deere Operations Center or Climate FieldView. So you can see we've got a wide variety of records coming over, but I'm going to bill Eric for these 4 records here. When I hit apply, it's going to automatically populate the information for me and give me a beautiful invoice that I can go ahead and send on over to him. So a really great feature there, really enjoy that, a personal favorite. So that's kind of a general overview of accounting. We'll jump into the reports later, but now we're going to spend some time in the operations space. So your main day-to-day screen in operations is going to be the import queue. This is going to be where all of your data from Climate FieldView and John Deere Operations Center funnels into. So you can see we've got a wide variety of applications coming over, some old harvest records from last year. So what I do in this space is I'm just going to review the record. We all know Climate and John Deere are not always perfect, and neither are our operators, so we want to make sure this is correct before we bring it into our Traction account. So what I can do here is just click on a record. These are the products that were brought over from John Deere. These are also the rates at which they were applied, but I'm just going to come in here and match these products in my database. So you can see here, here's the 28 that I have. We're going to match it up. The system will take care of the rest. So once I've imported these records, our general overview of anything that's been completed, whether through John Deere or Climate, or if I choose to manually add field records here in this screen, again, an overview is going to be listed here for me. So I can come in at any point in the year, I can click into my different applications, I can see what went on, was there a landowner quantity here that was broken out, and ultimately see kind of a good cost per acre for this application itself. So that's going to be your main day-to-day screen in the operations piece, but you've also got some specific views as well. So for inputs, we purchase glyphosate in accounting, but we've also pulled it out through Operations Center. So I can now see here any quantities that I've purchased in accounting and also anywhere that I've used that chemical on each specific field. So really great, you're also going to get an average cost per acre, and you're also going to get an average cost per unit here in this screen. For equipment tracking, so again, we tagged some expenses to that 7730. I can click into here and I'm going to see an actual cost per acre and a total actual cost here as well, based off of the ownership of the piece, any repairs here up top, and then anywhere that piece has covered ground. So another great view just to take another look at things. In the operations space, I can also track my scale tickets. So we sold grain to Cargill, but I can also view the tickets that brought that inventory in. So you can either manually add these or do a CSV upload, but either way, you're going to have a great view of what all happened each year at each location. There are some other parts of operations such as land agreements. If you want to break out any cash rent, harvest share, anything of that sort, you can break that out here, and a couple other reports. But ultimately, we're going to jump back to kind of those bigger accounting reports. So in Traction, you're going to have a wide variety of reports to choose from. So you can see here on the cash basis, I have a handful of reports, but I also have an accrual basis balance sheet as well. You do not need to specify if you use a cash basis or accrual basis. You will have access to both. So we can see we've got some reports here. One thing that's very nice about using Traction is that all of our reports are standardized across the industry. So I can see here any accountant will be able to work with this report and get the information that they need. What's great is they're also customizable. So if I want to view specific entities, if I want to view all of my entities together, and I can also specify a date range, I can do so. I can also export or print these if I need to share them with someone else. Ultimately, though, where all of this information is going to come together is in our Field Profit Center. So this is where I'm going to be able to break my profit down on a per acre or per bushel basis. So in this report, I can be as broad as I would like or as narrow as I would like. So for example, if I want to see in 2023, how did this 250 acres of soybeans do? Did I make money? I can update this report, and now I'm going to see all the activity for just this 250 acres of beans. I can see any sales up here, any miscellaneous revenue, any expenses that came from chemical, fertilizer, seed, equipment, ultimately giving me at the bottom here net income per acre and per bushel. So this is great. You can also jump back and view an entire crop. So for example, we want irrigated corn. We're going to jump and grab all of our corn from last year that was irrigated. And again, I'm going to get a full report of any activity on these fields, giving me ultimately profit per acre and per bushel. So that is kind of our general overview of Traction Business. If you have any specific questions to your operation, anything specific to your entities, or something that you want to see, feel free to reach out to our team here at Traction, and we'd be more than happy to show you anything you want. Thanks for watching. Bye.